Hi, this is Dr. Albert with the Connecticut State Community College Middlesex Veterinary Technology Program. I'm the program director. This is an information session that gives a detailed overview of the program, how to get in, and a little bit on the application itself. These are the important contacts for you. Again, I'm the program director. The program's licensed veterinary technician is Amy Levensaler. Our guided pathways advisor, who specializes in helping veterinary technology students, is Yara Zelinka, and our selective admission specialist is Tessa Slisinski. So I'm going to give an overview of the veterinary profession in general, make sure everyone has an understanding of what a veterinary technician is. We'll go over the program, the courses that we offer, what happens after graduation, and how to get in and the application itself. So the veterinarian, like myself, is responsible for diagnosing patients. The veterinarian directs treatments, prescribes medications, and performs surgery. So they have the overall responsibility for overseeing patient care and outcomes. The education for a veterinarian is typically 4 years of an undergraduate in which they acquire their Bachelor of Science degree, then 4 years of veterinary school. After that, you can do an optional 1-year internship, and then you can also do a 3-year residency if you wish to specialize in something such as surgery, pathology, parasitology, any of those specialties. Unfortunately, the cost for becoming a veterinarian is quite high. For a veterinary school, that can be up to $150,000 to $200,000 and even more. So most graduates come out of vet school with very large student loans. Veterinarians have the second highest debt to income ratio because the salaries do not match the loans that they have to pay off. So that's a downside. To the right are pictures of our instructors. We do have 4 veterinarian instructors, including myself, that lend their expertise to our students. Now, the veterinary technician is trained to be a veterinary nurse, and they have primarily patient care responsibilities. They perform many key roles in the hospital. A veterinarian couldn't do their job well without well-trained veterinary technicians. And that's anywhere from radiology, lab work, anesthesia and surgery, dental cleaning, x-rays, pharmacy, client education, front office duties, the whole spectrum of hospital care. Veterinary technicians can be employed in veterinary practices, research facilities and universities, zoos and aquariums, wildlife centers, and even more. There are 2-year associate degree programs and 4-year bachelor programs across the country. We are a 2-year program. Then there's a veterinary assistant, which is a more entry-level position. Vet assistants often receive on-the-job training, or they can complete a certificate program, of which we do have here at our campus and other campuses throughout CT State. Their primary responsibilities are restraint and basic patient care, so they assist the veterinary technician and the veterinarian, but it is a great way to get experience before and during the vet tech program. So an overview of our program, we are a full-time 2-year program and we have selective admission. So that means even though Connecticut State Community College accepts any applicants, once you are ready to apply to the vet tech program, we are more selective. We do evaluate GPA. We do require some other things before you can be accepted into our program. We accept no more than 24 students each year, and then those students move through the program together as a cohort over the next 2 years. Our program starts every fall. We are a daytime in-person program. We have very limited online programs, and we do not have evening classes. We are accredited by the American Veterinary Medical Association's Committee on Veterinary Technician Education and Activities, for short, the CVTEA. And that means that we have quite extensive standards that we have to follow in order to ensure that we are giving our students a good quality education. And that includes the credentials of our instructors, the support from the university, the details of our classes, and even equipment that we have available for students. It's a pretty long list of things that we have to fulfill for accreditation. Our graduates earn an associate's degree in science, and then graduates are eligible to take the Veterinary Technician National Exam and become certified or licensed veterinary technicians. Another note on the veterinary technology programs in Connecticut, there are two others. There are also vet tech programs at Norwalk and Northwestern. However, our programs are not interchangeable. So when you apply, you have to pick a campus and stick with it. So once you are admitted into the vet tech program, you have to sign up for courses at the campus in which you were accepted. Our program outcomes are the same, but we achieve them in different ways and in different order. So you must take the courses at the campus where you were accepted. Additionally, Norwalk and Northwestern have part-time options, whereas Middlesex is completely full-time. Just a little bit about the classes that we offer once you are in the program. And again, we have no night classes. They're taken in order. Here we do not have a part-time option, and only one of each course is offered. We might have two different sections, but only one course. Our courses are available at the availability of our instructors who do work full-time as veterinary technicians and veterinarians. So we have limited times in which to place our courses. So the first semester, when starting our program, there are courses such as veterinary terminology and medical math. There is a lot of math throughout the program, but we teach you what you need to know, and we continue to emphasize those math skills throughout the program. You don't need to have any experience coming in, so we do have an introduction to animal care where we show you how to restrain animals and the basic care of the various animals that we work with. Introduction to Veterinary Technology is actually an open enrollment course, so even without being enrolled in the Vet Tech program, you can take Intro to Vet Tech. But once you are in the program, if you haven't taken it yet, you will take it while you are in their first semester. We do some office management and communication, which is very important in the veterinary industry. And of course, you have to have some anatomy and physiology in there. The second semester in the spring, we have our small animal and large animal clinical nursing courses. So these have a lecture component and a hands-on component. For small animal, we have a clinical facility at Piper Veterinary in Middletown, where our students will do some hands-on training, first with mannequins, training mannequins, and then they'll eventually move up to live animal, things like giving injections and drawing blood, placing bandages, acquiring urine, doing some lab tests and things like that. For large animal, we visit various farms in the area. We don't provide transportation to those farms, and we do encourage carpooling. But we visit horse farms, dairy farms. We work on sheep and goats and sometimes chickens. So we try to get you a good broad spectrum of large animal experience. Then there's the second portion of anatomy and physiology, and one of the toughest courses is Principles of Pharmacology, because here you have to learn about lots of different medications that we use with animals and their side effects and how they work. So it could be a pretty intense class. And of course, there's more medical math because you need to know how to calculate dosages for various drugs and fluids and things like that. During the summer, we consider that our third semester because we do have a veterinary technology externship, which is 80 hours. So this is where our students go out into the real world, into one of Piper Veterinary's general practices, and they spend 80 hours practicing the things they just learned in their lectures and clinical courses. So things like restraint, giving injections, preparing vaccines, learning about the medications and dewormers, things like that, drawing blood. These can be performed in Middletown. Piper has other hospitals throughout Connecticut, so East Haddam, Marlborough, Essex, Stratford, Lebanon, Norwich, and possibly even more. Then the second fall semester is a pretty intense semester for the second year students. They will have veterinary lab procedures course and principles of imaging, where they learn how to position and take x-rays of animals. Lab procedures, they learn how to run various tests that we do on animals and what they mean. Veterinary anesthesia and surgical nursing is another course where the students learn about sedation, putting animals under anesthesia, different instruments, how to prepare patients for surgery, how to prepare for various surgical procedures. It's a pretty intense course. The hands-on portion for those three courses is Vet 2031. So this is the hands-on part where students will anesthetize patients, prepare them for surgery, as you can see in the picture to the right. They will perform lab tests, they will take x-rays, and get all that hands-on experience for those three courses. For the imaging or radiology portion, our students will rotate through the Piper Memorial Radiology Clinic, where any patients that are coming in for x-rays, our students will learn how to position them appropriately, and they'll also learn about ultrasound and CT scans. In order to graduate, students do need 2 electives in either arts and humanities or social and behavioral sciences. So those can be taken even before you get into the program while you're fulfilling your prerequisites that we'll talk about in a few minutes. There are a couple opportunities to take it during the program or over the summer, but those do have to be completed before graduation. The last semester before graduation includes a lot of ology courses. Students will take veterinary microbiology and immunology, which has a lecture and a lab. Again, learning about immunology, how patients respond to infections and vaccinations and how the immune system works, as well as common viruses, bacterial infections, and things like that that our patients might be exposed to. They learn veterinary parasitology, so learning about fleas and ticks and worms and all that kind of gross stuff. They'll also have a pathophysiology course, which is basically the study of disease. So the different diseases that our dogs and cats and large animals and even exotics can encounter, and what causes those diseases, how do we diagnose them, and how do we treat them. Our students also have a periodontology and oral radiology course. On the right is a picture of our students doing a comprehensive oral health assessment and treatment on a patient at Piper Veterinary. So they'll learn how to take x-rays of the teeth, how to chart any abnormalities of the teeth, and clean them up. Additionally, our students do, during this semester, a 200-hour externship at any contracted veterinary hospital. So this is similar to the first externship, except for they are doing more advanced procedures. So they are out at veterinary clinics doing dentals, assisting in surgery and anesthesia. They are drawing blood, administering medications, so a little bit of the more advanced procedures that they've learned the past year. This is a great way for students to get jobs after graduation. They've been essentially working for a veterinary clinic for 200 hours getting to know each other, and so many of our students are offered a job after they graduate from their externship site. We also have a Vet Tech Club that is very active. It is the student chapter of the National Association of Veterinary Technicians in America. We hold annual pet calendar fundraisers, bake sales, pet food drives. We do trips to the zoo, to the Mystic Aquarium. We do horse grooming to help out some of the farms that we visit. And a lot of the funds are used for events or speakers or trips, that sort of thing. And we do have a graduation banquet at the end of the year that helps fund. And we've started doing a holiday dog wash fundraiser that has been very popular. So it's great for the students to get involved and get to know the instructors more. And it's great for the resume as well. So then we have graduation, and our students have an associate in science degree. We do have a graduation banquet for them each year where they will cite the veterinary technician's oath, and we will do a pinning ceremony. We do some academic and clinical awards and some fun awards as well, and have a nice dinner. So it's a nice way to get together before everyone goes their separate ways after graduation. So once you are a veterinary technician, your prospects for employment are very good. Employment for vet techs is expected to continue to grow. The salary information for 2024 is $45,980 median annual wage nationally. This is on the Bureau of Labor and Statistics website. So while it is unfortunately low, it has been increasing every year that I've been looking up these statistics, so that's good. Connecticut is one of the higher paying states to work in, with more of a median of 50,000. So it really depends on what type of practice you're working for, and what state in which you are working as well. Most veterinary technicians go to work for private or corporate practices, but again, there are job opportunities in pharmaceuticals, medicine, medical manufacturing, scientific research that do tend to be higher paying. Vet techs can also be employed in education, like here, teaching fellow vet tech students, public health, government, like military research. So there are a lot of job opportunities. Once a veterinary technician is established and has some experience behind them, they can go on to specialize and get their VTS designation. So this is an opportunity to pursue a passion if there is an area of veterinary medicine that you are passionate about, such as dentistry or emergency and critical care or surgery. You can go on to specialize, and it's not a formal schooling, but it is a focus in where you are practicing and doing mostly that area that you're interested in, and then there is a full application process that you can pursue to become a specialist. So the program here at Middlesex is affordable, especially compared to vet school, about $19,000 for 2 years. We do have high job placement, and we give our students support for the VT&E certification exam. So just as you're typically familiar with an SAT course, we give you a VT&E course that we pay for you to help you do practice questions and study strategies so that you will be successful in passing the exam after graduation. Our class size is limited to 24 students, and even beyond that, we often divide you into smaller groups so that sometimes it's one instructor for every 4 to 6 students, 4 to 8 at the most if we have live animals. So we do try to give you personalized attention and as much experience as we can with somebody overseeing you. We do have a lot of hands-on learning. We are fortunate to be partnered with Piper Veterinary, and we work with lots of farms in the area. We have great partnerships with Yale and Piper Veterinary and numerous farms. As far as Yale goes, our students do rotate 3 times through with a Yale laboratory veterinary technician where they learn how to handle mice, rodents, and rabbits. Again, our cohort model is great. The students move through the program as a group and get to know each other very well and support each other. And the community is aware of us, and we do a lot through our program to help the community. In our anesthesia and surgical nursing course, we spay and neuter animals under the care of animal control so that they are already spayed or neutered and have received their vaccinations and testing before they get adopted by their new owners. There is also tremendous support on campus at Middlesex. We have an academic success center currently with a veterinary technician tutor. We have fantastic library services. Our campus also offers mental health services and disability services in addition to a food pantry, and we also have an award-winning veteran center. So how do I get in? So you do need college level courses in English. So what's equivalent to our English 1010, which is English composition. Also math, that could be intermediate algebra, statistics, or calculus. We do need general biology with lab for 4 credits. Here that is bio 1210, and also chemistry 1110, concepts of chemistry. The biology and chemistry should be within 5 years, and all of these are needed to be with a C or higher. We do give preference to 2.7 GPA or higher. It's not that we will not accept below a 2.7, but we do find that those students tend to struggle more with our program. Throughout the program, students do need to maintain a C or better in all of their courses to continue on. These prerequisites can be in progress in the spring before the fall of entry. So for example, if you are trying to apply for fall of 2026, you can be in progress in your courses in the spring before, but you cannot have courses in progress over the summer. That will be beyond when we make our decisions. So the application closes May 1st. If you are currently taking courses, what we will do is wait for the final grades to be posted towards the end of May and then make our decision and acceptances at the beginning of June. We will accept AP scores of 3 or higher, as well as ECE dual enrollment credits. When you are taking your prerequisites, you need to take College and Career Success, because once you are in the vet tech program, there's not really any room to take it. And again, you can take Intro to Veterinary Technology before admission. So, if you are a senior in high school now, you will not be eligible to join us this coming fall. You would have to satisfy those prerequisites. If you have all of our prerequisites in AP and ECE courses, then you can do it, but majority of high school students aren't eligible yet. So what you would do is apply to Connecticut State Community College as a general studies major and sign up for the prerequisite classes that you need to get started on. I would highly suggest making an appointment with our Guided Pathways advisor, Yara, and I would make those appointments early because she books up fast. If she's booked up, you can also contact myself. So if you're just starting on those, you are not eligible currently for fall 2026, but you could get things started so that you can apply for fall 2027. If you're in college and already have these prerequisites underway, you can submit unofficial transcripts if you have courses that you took at other colleges, and we'll review them and see if you have everything that you need. Sometimes, for example, maybe you took biology somewhere else, but it may not be equivalent to the biology that we require. So we'll evaluate those and let you know if you still need to take any courses. With the application, you will have to submit official transcripts. If you are taking courses within CT State, we already have your grades, so you don't have to submit anything special. So you will register for any missing courses, and you can submit your application by May 1st of the year that you want to enter. Once you've completed the prerequisites, or they are in progress and will be completed by May 2026, then you can apply specifically to vet tech. So again, we are selective admissions, so that means we have additional application requirements from the general application process. So we do require one letter of recommendation, ideally from a professional. So if you are already working in the veterinary field, or if not, if you're working somewhere else, a letter from or a recommendation from a supervisor would be fantastic. You can submit an optional academic letter of recommendation. We also require answers to personal statement or essay questions that we supply to you. Again, the deadline is May 1st each year. Acceptance into the program is limited and not guaranteed, depends on the number of qualified applicants we have for those 24 spots. If we go over that, we do use a waiting list. As far as financial aid goes, you can contact our financial aid office. For financial aid, you do have to complete the FAFSA. You may be eligible for the Marianne Handley Award, formerly the PACT program, where you can get free community college tuition for up to 70 plus credits. There is more information online with the financial aid office about that. We do have several vet tech scholarships that students can apply for, and highly recommend that. So the application itself, if you are already a student at CT State, you already have an application account. If not, you can make one. So either make an application account or go into your current one to access that. For applying to the vet tech program, if you already have an account and you're underway and ready to apply, you would just select submit another application, and then you would pick the vet tech program. So it'll ask you what your area of study is. We are in allied health and nursing and health careers. You would pick veterinary technology for your program of interest. If you're in high school, this is where you would just pick general studies if you're not ready to apply yet. Pick your starting term that you are applying for and which campus. This is, I know, small and hard to see, but make sure you read the yellow box because, again, it reviews the requirements that you need to make sure you will have completed by May. And if, yes, you're underway and they'll be finished, you can say yes. If not, say no, and it'll guide you to general studies and an advisor to help you register for the correct courses. If you are underway with your prereqs and ready to go, then you can say yes. You will submit your application and then go back into your application, and you can then it'll upload the specific vet tech information for you. So your start term, it's going to ask about again which term you're applying for. If you're ready to go, you should be in the continuing or transfer student. If you haven't had any college yet, you're picking new first-time student, and you shouldn't be in the vet tech portion yet. You're just not eligible yet. Once you go back into your application and submit, like review your application, you want to look for the supplemental items and documents tab. Once you go in there, you will have more specific parts for the vet tech program. So what you're looking for is over here the personal statement. So what you're going to do is click on the link and you're going to download the questions that we have. There's about 10 of them. Things like why do you feel you would make a good veterinary technician? How would you respond to this situation? That sort of thing. So you're going to answer those, and then you're just going to upload them back into the application. So you don't have to submit any paperwork. You don't have to email anybody anything. You just put them right back into the application. The other thing you're going to look for, whoops, went ahead too fast. You will see all of these prerequisites that might say not received for a while. Don't panic if you already submitted them. What the selective admissions folks do is just collect all the information, and then once the application closes on May 1st, then they go through and make sure you have everything. If anything's missing, they'll let you know. So don't panic if you don't see that your grades were received. They likely were. They just haven't processed them yet. Then you want to go into an area for approval requests. This is where you're going to submit your professional recommendation and optional academic recommendation. We really do prefer not having personal recommendations like from a neighbor or your mom, that type of thing. What you're going to do is hit start, and it's going to take you to this form that you will fill out your recommender's name. So say it's Professor Albert. You put in their email, and you can put a little note. It is best to let them know this is coming so they can check their email and make sure it doesn't go into spam. And so a little note like, hey, Dr. Albert, this is the form for a recommendation for me for vet tech school. And you'll submit that, and it'll email them a form that we have created. They'll complete the form and they'll hit submit, and it'll automatically upload into your application. So again, we don't need any letters or emails, but you do want to follow up with your recommender and make sure that they completed it, and make sure they get it in before the application deadline. All right, so once you're in, we do hold a new vet tech orientation seminar at the end of the spring semester, usually towards the beginning of June. We'll let you know what classes you have to register for the fall. We go over the vet tech handbook. We talk about rabies vaccination information. Our students do need to be rabies vaccinated. We often work with rescues and strays and animals for which we don't know their rabies vaccination status. Then we'll have a representative for the scrub orders, so you can try on scrubs and place your orders at that time. So in addition to submitting vaccinations for your general college application, we will be asking for proof of rabies vaccination before you start handling animals, and Yale requires a tetanus vaccination. So that's a separate form that we give you once you start that you will have to provide documentation for. These are just some pictures of our students in their hands-on experience learning how to do CPR on a mannequin, prepping animals for surgery. This is our classroom on Berlin Street at Piper Veterinary. It's a clinical classroom where we can bring animals as needed. These are students doing some lab work, some of our mannequins that we use for training, practicing scrubbing in for surgery, and one of our mannequins that we train students on placing catheters and drawing blood. And then just some more pictures of our students in action. Here's some visits to the horse farm. So thank you. I hope this was helpful. Please let me know if you have any questions. You can email me at any time or contact Yara, and we're happy to help you out. Thanks again.